Guys, welcome back to my channel.
Welcome
I got
to
my
her
good
channel.
girlfriend. You got a YouTube too, right?
Yes, I'm Jay
Give me the
Lindsay. You can follow me on all social medias at Jay Lindsay or The Unlimited Elevation, or my YouTube is Jay Lindsay as well. So,
Wait, first, pause. This is my first ever mukbang.
Oh,
So,
no.
Hat, Maryland, New Carrollton.
if this is good, it's gonna be my new spot.
Yeah,
It
for real.
smells good.
And they, I don't know, customer service wasn't all that. He was like, oh, I gave you a special because it's Wednesday. I was like,
oh, okay.
I mean, she didn't say it like this.
Oh.
She was like, oh, I rung you up for 2 specials because it's Wednesday and we got a Wednesday special. I was like, thank you. So I gave her a tip. All right, so we got a seafood boils. I just feel like it's not a mukbang if you're not eating seafood.
Let's do a cheers. Cheers! Well, they got the good corn. So some corn is like that frozen corn that you get, and then the other corn, this is like that they shuck.
Tell the people what you do.
So I am a life and relationship coach. I focus on personal development, making sure that you are growing personally and developing in your personal life so that it can improve your relationships. Right now, at this point in my life, I've focused mainly on working one-on-one with people and helping them become the best version of themselves so that they can be in healthy relationships. I also focus on mindset as well.
Now, when you say one-on-one, do you mean like no couples right now?
Yeah, no couples right now. And all of my clients have been one-on-one clients. I did do a couple sessions with a couple and it went really, really well. It's just best that I continue to gain experience myself. Although I have the knowledge, I want to gain the wisdom inside of relationships. I'm still fairly young. I still have a lot to learn inside of relationships. And although it's my passion, I do feel like the most important part of your foundation in a relationship is yourself.
Yes.
So what better way to work with people on themselves so that they can be ready for long-lasting, healthy relationships?
I agree. I feel like even as a married woman, I feel like right now where I am in my life is like God is literally telling me that I have to focus on myself. Your personal development, getting better,
Yes.
and then you can worry about your husband, what he's not doing. So I definitely feel like that's very important, and I feel like a lot of people don't even think about or realize how important development, your own personal issues, all that makes a difference in relationships. I don't even think I told them the topic of our conversation. So this episode on having a conversation is about healing and growing while maintaining relationships, and that could be platonic or romantic, whatever the case is. During the healing process, it can get lonely, but you do have your people, and I feel like the hardest part sometimes is learning how to interact or navigate a relationship with somebody as your new self.
Ooh, that part. What happens when you're, especially like you being married, sometimes a partner can hurt you. How do you heal inside of a relationship where you are married? You can't just get your space. You can't just get your time apart. You can't, because how are you supposed to heal in the environment that hurts you?
Yes, that right there.
Make it make sense, please.
Literally, but it takes, I think it's all about learning the tools for your emotional intelligence. Learning how, first of all, learning yourself, learning your triggers, learning if you're really offended or is this a trigger for you? Is this trauma you're talking? I think that's very important. But also learning how to not take everything personally. Ooh. I think that's one of my main problems.
But that comes from self-worth. That comes from personal development.
Yes, you have to be okay in that one with yourself. You have to be able to talk to yourself and be like, girl, you tripping. Just calm down. Or even if you're not tripping, you gotta just be like, all right, he hurt you. All right, now what?
Yes. I feel like the biggest thing is it's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be all of those things. But the way that you respond is everything.
That's it right
You can
there.
be hurt, but you don't have to respond in a way that's hurt your partner. And at the end of the day, I always think about this. If my partner hurt me and I'm upset, it sounds kind of messed up, but like, I always want to keep the upper hand.
Wait, what you mean?
So let's say your partner does something wrong and then you confronted him about it. And then you start going off and you start going crazy out the mouth. Now you hitting low blows and you doing all this toxic stuff. Now y'all both in the wrong. You no longer have the upper hand.
I'm not even gonna hurt you. That's very mature of you to say because, baby, listen. I think I'm there now. Me and Lo's been together, what, 9 years? Too long. But I used to be, I'm matching your energy. And it's so crazy you said it because now I be saying that to him. You always gotta match my energy. If you see I'm off or I'm not, be gentle. Try to meet me not where I'm at, but I guess where my heart is. Ultimately, I'm not trying to offend you.
I just be thinking I really just gotta keep my cool, because also just giving people the benefit of the doubt in the midst of relationships. If you're a person they love you, then the conversation should look different. It doesn't mean that you're gonna have a conversation about something.
It should never go to a certain. I agree.
It should never go to a certain point. Give them the benefit of the doubt. They most likely they made a mistake. If this is repeated and this is a repetitive action that they're doing, then maybe I need to remove myself in this. I need to remove myself in this situation, because now there's an issue with me. Why am I accepting the same thing over, knowing that I don't deserve this, knowing that I deserve better? You're lowering your standards so that you're lowering your bar so that they can step on your bar and step over it. So it's like you have to remove yourself from those situations.
But I guess, so what advice could you give for somebody who's not in a relationship with somebody who's emotionally intelligent like that? Because that takes a lot of maturity in the sense of, first of all, the upper hand thing. I think a lot of times women, we forget that the goal or the biggest thing is for us to be, for what we're trying to say, to be received. Versus them just hearing us. No, we want them to hear
receive
us
it and make a change.
Right. I feel like a lot of times we communicate and we just communicate to get it out. Communicate so that we know we said it. But it's like sometimes we gotta take a step back and learn how to communicate differently. So I guess what advice would you give somebody who's in a relationship with somebody who's not as emotionally mature in that?
So I think understanding what you want is the most important thing. Before you even have the conversation, you should have had a conversation with yourself first to figure out what is the purpose of this conversation that I'm going into. What is the goal out of this conversation? Am I going in here just to chew this man out? Or am I going in here to really come up with a solution so that we can move different in the future? Once you're able to identify what the purpose of the conversation is, then you communicate that to somebody that maybe doesn't have that emotional intelligence. So you're able to say, hey, right now, I just need you to listen. I'm really upset right now. I don't really want you to respond. I just want you to listen. But you can't want them to listen, but want them to respond at the same time. You can't talk at them and then be mad when they don't have nothing to say. Because that's how it gets to be sometimes when you're dealing with people who are emotionally unintelligent. They'll be like, I just want you to listen. But then they're like, so you're not going to say nothing? Right. What you got to say to that? Well, you just told me to listen.
Actually, I have nothing to say. I actually...
Absolutely. And that's also okay, too. People just process and stuff. But...
and giving people that space to be able to process in their way. I think that's one of the important things, too. People process and people receive information differently. And so you have to allow people to, one, receive what you're telling them, but be able to process it and implement it into their lives the way they see fit. A lot of times we want to give the advice, tell them how to implement it, see it implemented in a certain amount of time. Damn, give me a chance type of thing. So
I feel like the hurt person also has to be honest with themselves, because it's like, if you know that you can't be healthy in the relationship, then you have to be able to take a step back. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've been in situations like that where it's like, I know that I'm hurt right now, and hurt people hurt people. And my presence in this relationship is not healthy for you. And it's not healthy for the other person's growth either. So it's like, I have to take a step back and I have to work on me so that I can come back into the relationship with that person or a relationship with another person and be additive and not be a bag that somebody's carrying or a weight on somebody. Because you can't keep being in a relationship trying to, oh, you're going to move forward. You can move forward, but you have to heal. You have to give yourself time to heal, and you can't rush your healing process. I feel like a lot of times we rush our healing process because we just want things to be normal again. And sometimes it's like things might feel normal for a second because you're having a good day, but healing is up and down.
It's not
one day is good, the next day is bad. One minute you hate the person, the next minute you're like, oh my gosh, I actually miss them. The next minute you actually want nothing to do with you. So it's like you have to allow yourself to go through that process without rushing yourself back into the relationship.
Now, so you realize, all right, you need to take a step back or whatever. And I'm talking relationships too, but right now I'm saying as far as like friendship goes, how do you, I guess, I don't want to say be okay because I just need to be okay with putting yourself first, but how do you deal with those relationships that are more like needy or people want you to show up more than you feel? Basically, when you're in a space where, all right, you're growing and you're healing to become who you want to be, but you're still like, you still have your times where your old self or you're not fully at your next phase. So I feel like
you're in a transition phase.
Yes, the transition. That's exactly where I was looking for. Like, you're in your transition phase. How do you, I guess, maintain or still water those relationships? Or do you?
I feel like you have to water those relationships. But what you should do is communicate to the people that you care about. This is the season I'm in. This is what I can give right now. It's not personal. Obviously, you're gonna be there for big events,
right?
Like stuff that only comes around once. Obviously, you wanna like if someone's getting married, or maybe a birthday celebration, or whatever. But in other ways, you might not be able to show up. You might not be able to show up to events. You might not be able to do those things. And I feel like if you are able to talk to your friend about it, the way that they receive it will tell you everything you need to know. If they are able to come with you into your next level, not everybody is supposed to come with you to your next level. Not everybody. Some people have to get left behind. But the people that understand where you are, where you're trying to go, and what you need at this stage in your life, and the people that are not compassionate, but the people that are empathetic and encouraging for those situations, instead of people that will put you down or question you as to why are you doing that, you don't need to do all that, or calling your growth process your little process, or just belittling your process because they're upset that you can't show up and be that yes person. No, those are people that aren't coming with you in your next season, and that's God's way of showing you they can't come with you.
They gotta stay.
It shouldn't even be when you're in your time where you're healing, you're growing, you're evolving, and you know what you need in that moment. That means that you can't show up on whatever days it is. The other time, right, we was trying to figure out when we were gonna link or film or whatever. He was like, what about Sunday? He was like, oh no, actually, I set Sundays aside for me to do nothing. If I was like, bro, that's so irritating.
Right.
You should cut me off. You talking about how you need time to heal, how you not heal, but that's your reset time. Your self-care time, and I'm trying to pull you away from that.
That's a good example.
That means I don't care about you. If I'm getting upset, I love that for you. Right ahead. Like, I go right ahead. Matter of fact, I'm about to start doing that.
Right, no, for real.
So
that was good. This is good. We haven't even asked no questions yet. Open communication or selective vulnerability? What's the best way to say it?
Whoa, like
I know.
Mine. Once I started that one, that's a mine. That's a good question now.
I know. I feel like let's get into it.
Open communication or selective vulnerability. Break that down. What do you mean by selective vulnerability?
Do you want somebody to always express, just always tell you everything, say everything that comes to their mind, or do you want somebody who is filtered? They just communicate when they're emotional or when they feel some type of way.
I think that the best way to do it is selective vulnerability.
So that was open communication with selective vulnerability, and you were saying you think the best way is...
I thought that just that open communication, tell me everything that you feel. Like, I want to know, what are you feeling? What are you thinking right now? I want to know everything. No, I don't want to know everything. Think about it. Ask yourself, is this worth bringing up?
Is it worth coming out my mouth?
Is it worth it coming out your mouth? Is it worth creating an environment that is not peaceful, right? Is it worth stirring some stuff up? Or is this something that you can
work through yourself? And we just talk about the victory in it. I think this is romantic and platonic, honestly, for me. Because honestly, I feel like being a very emotional being, sometimes it's just overwhelming for everybody to always tell you every little thing they feel, or every little thing they think, because I'm also trying to figure out how to make you feel better. And I just don't have the capacity. So that's definitely something I'm working on. But I agree, selective vulnerability.
I think selective vulnerability. You do need to be vulnerable.
At this age in my life, selective vulnerability.
At this age, before, when I was younger and I had the time and I had the capacity.
But I feel like it's also because when you're younger, you're dealing with men who are younger and they're more nonchalant. So it's like
they don't care about nothing.
So
nothing
you're
at all.
trying to pull it out of them. But now it's like once you get comfortable and you like, all right, I holler, like let me know after you think this through, and we can just talk about it on the back end.
Sometimes I just be like, bro, I just need a minute. I just don't want to have this conversation right now, or I can't respond to you right now. I just need a minute to process everything that just was said,
right? Everything
that happened. Because if I have this open communication with you right now and I tell you what's on my mind at this moment, we gonna
it's not gonna be communicated properly. That and
it's gonna go left.
We probably not even gonna be together after this. Like
that, and we're not gonna be talking about what we was talking about.
Right. That'd be the thing. Let's talk about the real issue. Let's get to the real problem. Not all this fluff and just anger and yelling rah-rah. Let's get to the root of the problem.
Especially because if it's like, what, especially if it doesn't have anything to do with my person. We don't have nothing to do with my person. Let's say I'm stressed out or whatever, and it don't have nothing to do with my person. But obviously, you be with somebody for a long time. I was in a 6-year relationship, so it's like, I get it. That's your confidant, that's your friend, that's your best friend, whatever. But you also have to think of that person and be like, can this person handle this right now? Can I handle this on my own? Because I know that my person is also going through something as well. Should I bring this up to my person?
That's good. That's
good. You know, or can I handle it? Now, if you go through that process and you say, I have to talk to my person right now. I thought about it, you sat on it for a couple days, and you're like, I still feel the same exact way. I do need to talk about this with my person. And he's the only person I can talk about this with. Because also, it's okay to have other friends. It's okay to talk to your other friends. Sometimes I talk to my best friend, and I'm like, girl, am I tripping? You don't have to give one person all of your problems.
Now, do you feel like, this is off topic, I guess, but do you feel like men should have women friends in relationships? Men should.
Yes, that's a great question. I feel that that's a really good question. And I know that it's healthy too, but my whole thing is, I don't know if it's 100%. Well, I have male friends and they're just my male friends. It's not nothing more, but I guess it has to be a proven friendship. You're not just meeting somebody.
And boundaries definitely have to. And if my intuition say otherwise, it's a wrap. Sorry, not sorry.
Like,
it is what it is, baby.
I feel like it can be a healthy thing just because sometimes men need to hear a woman's perspective.
That's why I asked, but I do feel like sometimes, a lot of times I'll have to go to my dad and be like tell him something and be like, what's the logic behind that, whatever the case is. He'd be like, well, men don't function like that. Oh, that is a lot. They are pretty good though. I feel like
it's cool.
They're cool. 7. Like he'll be like, oh, men don't operate like that, or men don't communicate like that, or we just don't think like that. And they'd be like, I'd be like, well, why not? But
that's what I was about to say. Why not?
Yeah.
Why can't you push yourself to think differently? We gotta push ourselves to think differently.
We gotta put ourselves in y'all shoes. Like,
we have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we didn't put ourselves in men's shoes, we would be acting like men. And they can't take the same amount of stuff that they do to us. If we did half of this, if we did.
And I think they don't realize. I think that's not the problem, but I think their thing is they don't understand their thought process the way we take the time to understand our thought process and theirs, like our makeup. Sometimes a lot of men be in denial about how emotional they are, what they feel like, oh, I don't give a fuck about nothing. Are you sure?
No, you do care.
Because like the fact that you even in your bag, that's just tight, like you care. You care. So I just think that we're just more open and more willing to try to understand all aspects inside versus them being as open. It's like, the other thing is too, because we are made up so emotional, once the moment has passed, they over it. But because we're emotional, we internalize it and we remember. But it's like, it's not even just a mental thing. Our bodies remember.
Wow.
Our bodies remember. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in a certain situation where you're put back into a situation. Your mind might not even realize you're in that situation, but your body gets like... Oh my gosh. I think that's another thing that makes a big difference.
No, there was a period of time where I was so hurt that I felt like if I opened up my body to my partner, that I felt violated. Because I was so hurt by my partner. You know what I mean? And like, that's what I feel like when you said that, that's what I immediately thought about. Wow, my body will feel things that my mind is trying to get over, but it's still in me.
And that's how you haven't really fully healed from it. And also sometimes that's just our body protecting us. You don't realize you're in danger, but baby, I know you're in danger. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. And the protection thing too, to protect ourselves.
I feel like too, something that I've learned on my healing journey, and it's crazy. That's why I always think that the key to like healing in relationships, healing in yourself, is just really working on you and loving you. Because for so long, I always thought like, oh, I love myself. I never thought like, oh, you're ugly. I've never felt like appearance-wise, oh, you don't look good. Like, da-da-da. No, I've always been confident. And I felt like I always loved myself. But the thing about it was, I didn't know how to love myself.
You didn't even know what self-love was.
No, I was like, bro, sure, I love myself. I don't hate myself.
Right.
But like, are you loving yourself properly? And my whole thing that I'm learning is I need to make sure that I'm loving myself and being around people that love me as if God would love me.
Exactly.
Godly love.
It's so funny you said that because the guy that the pastor Mike Jr. that you had sent me, I listened to him today. He was literally like, the way God sees you, if you surround yourself with people who see you the way God see you, it's up. Pretty much, it's up. But when you surround yourself with people who see you for who you used to be or for less than what you are, then it's like, see me later.
See you later. Oh my God.
See me later. I was like, he's talking to me.
Yes.
He was eating me up today.
What? If that is not the truth, I remember hitting up my homegirl, my old homegirl, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to cultivate a stronger relationship. This is how I feel. I could be wrong, I could be right, but I just want to cultivate a stronger relationship. Do you know that she damn near laughed in my face? Damn near laughed in my face because her idea of me was the past me, the college, the don't take nothing serious, the insecure me, the me that didn't love myself. You know what I mean? But now that I'm demanding more, it's a wrap.
People don't even know how to show up.
People don't know how to show up.
They don't even know what that looks like.
They don't even get it. They don't understand what you're asking for. They don't understand what you're asking for. And it's like, that is God's way of showing you, okay, they don't love you like God loves you because they don't see nothing in you. And they don't see your value. They don't respect your hustle. They don't respect your grind. They don't respect your growth process. They don't respect you.
None of that. Like,
people cannot respect you without disrespecting you, if that makes sense.
Yep, I agree. Now, do you feel like your relationship with your parents dictate or show up with how you treat other people? So your relationship with your mom, do you feel like that's how you, I guess, maybe base your female relationships off of, and that's how you operate? Or is it like, all right, me and my mom have a good relationship, we communicate, whatever the case is, but I don't really see the significance in our relationship and how it plays a part in other relationships? I guess romantically and
I feel like it depends on the person. Some people can internalize it, and you talking about traumas with your family?
I'm saying in general, when people be like, oh, his mother don't got a good relationship, then 9 times out of 10, I don't know how to treat a woman. But I feel like, honestly, if I'm being honest, I feel like relationships are relationships. And the longer I've been married, relationships are really just relationships. It's just you showing up in a romantic way with somebody who are committed to, in the sense of we're never separated. And then with friendships, maybe not the same amount of compromise, but definitely it still takes work. And it still takes work and personal growth on both ends to show up.
So you're asking, how does your relationship with your family dynamic, can that be an indicator of if this person is capable of having a healthy relationship with you?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think it just depends on the situation. It really depends on the situation. I think into situations that we can't control. So I think really it's a matter of assessing how that person is navigating through the dynamic in their relationship. Not more so, does he have a relationship or not have a relationship with his dad or his mom? Can't really control that in some situations. But how is he handling his mom?
Like you said before, what's the response? How's he responding?
Yes, how is he responding to that dysfunction? Or how is he responding to the dysfunction? Is his mother only trying to love him and he can't receive the love for whatever reason? Or is his mother the problem and he's the one who's trying to help his mother grow and keep up with him? So it really just depends on the situation, and it's depending on how that person is responding to that. That's how I feel, because you can't really control that.
Certain things. I do agree. Now, do you feel like within our age range right now, do you feel like men are more open and willing to go through the healing, or I'm not even gonna say go through the healing process? Do you feel like that men that are between 27 and 30, do you feel like they actually see the significance and the importance of healing, changing their ways, not just being who they are?
I feel like some do, majority don't. That is more now than what it used to be. In our parents' generation, I feel like compared to our parents' generation, it's definitely more men, for sure.
I agree.
But is it all of them? No. I feel like even when I'm talking to my middle school students, boys, they're sitting there like, I'm good.
Yeah, and it starts young like that. That's why I be like, when we be at the schools, I definitely be trying to, so why you think you should get to do it and the girls should get to do it?
But another thing that I noticed too is a lot more women are against and help and counseling.
Than men?
No, not
Or in
than
general?
men, but in general. It used to be a thing where I feel like women were just way more open to it. But even like younger generation, this generation I'm teaching, I asked the girls, I'm talking to somebody, talking to a therapist, talking to a counselor. The girls was like, it was a lot of girls that was like, no. I was like, what?
Wow.
You think at that age I would just want to talk to somebody that you trust, like I wonder what about our generation or generation before,
But I feel
are
like
making the generation under us feel uncomfortable.
I feel okay. That's good because I feel like now the way we show up for kids is different than how adults have usually shown up for kids. So for your student, as far as your students, for example, I feel like if we approach them, built a relationship with them, and then got them to open up, boom, then they would be way more open to it. But I feel like they don't really know what that looks like in the sense of, would you want to sit down and talk to my, I feel like even now it's not enough. Even though it's like social media, therapists are really starting to come out of their shells and really put out content that make therapy not the sit on the couch. So what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's what they think of. I feel like that's what they think of. They think of somebody, you gotta sit there, you gotta come up with stuff to say. Because I remember sometimes if I'm going through a real bad and I know I got a therapy session coming, I get super anxious. I be like, should I cancel? But it's like, because I'm like, what am I gonna talk about? Granted, I have plenty of stuff, I'm sure, but it's like, where do I want to start? Do I even want to bring that up? Do I want to get into it? So it's like, oh, forget it. Like, let's just cancel the whole session. But in reality, it's like, no. Once I get on there and she like, hey girl, what you been up to? And it's just casual conversation. And then we start just organically getting into the nitty gritty. So I feel like these kids, you gotta show them, right, we care about y'all. We here for y'all. And then they like, oh, all right. They might be all right with me.
Yeah.
I might could tell them a little something. And then I also feel like this generation, they're in the middle. Some of them have very old parents, and some of them have very young parents. And so I know I went through that. Even with me and Lo's mother is older, but my parents is younger. And so growing up, some things he would get to do, or his mom would, his parents wouldn't be too strict on. But my parents be like, what? Like, no. Like, well, they would just be more involved, but like more at certain events or something like that. Like, I feel like it makes a big difference.
it's different for girls and boys too.
Definitely, it is. I agree. But it makes a big difference too when the age group your parents are in. 'Cause I know some stuff I be telling my grandma, she be like, you let Kamari do what? And I'm like, girl, listen. Even with my dad, listen, I gentle parent.
No.
I gentle parent. I'm one of them. So
I don't know how a parent. Ooh, how do you feel like your healing process affects you as a parent?
I feel like it defines me as a mom because it's not just about like, all right, I don't want to do the things my parents did when it's not just about that. It's just a certain way I want her to be able to navigate throughout this world when she gets older. And it's like, I can't do that if I haven't worked with myself.
Ooh,
I have to literally, I literally was just telling my father this. When it comes to my stepdaughter is more like me, in my opinion, more like me than both of her parents. And so she's made up more like me, emotional wise and stuff like that. And so I have to be so intentional with the way I show up and the way I am a role model with her that I can't fake it. I literally have to do the healing. I have to do the self-work. I have to show up as a healed person or almost healed in that process. I have to show up as that. It's in white skin too. Thank you. Because it's not going to do her no justice.
Whatever the situation is. Oh, no, bro. I thought I hurt my feelings a little bit.
Right. I didn't even realize till you just said me.
The real salty if you didn't get it. I didn't really take that person. If it was just me, I didn't really take that shit personally. Like, what?
I think I'm only not taking it personal because
my ass got blocked.
No. Honestly, I think it's just because right now, conversation and the conversation we're having, you just told me to stop taking shit personal.
Well, I am.
In the last clip.
I'm taking it personal.
Did I start?
I felt personally attacked.
Yeah.
Now, let me work through those feelings. Period. Real live.
No, really. All right, cheers. We're back. Back to what we was talking about. What was the question?
Well, we were talking about how do you feel like your healing journey is affecting you as a parent, as a mother?
My healing journey definitely defines me as a mom. I feel like the person I am working towards becoming is the mom that I want to be. The overall person, but definitely like the way I want to show up. I want to be more patient. I don't want to be easily triggered, easily angered, easily annoyed, all those types of things. I want to be present when Mars want to play, whatever, or Sage want to talk, whatever the case is. I don't want to be like on my phone, like, I want to be present. They know. When they grow up, I just want them to be able to say, my mom showed up.
She was present.
My mom was there. If I need to call, that's my girl. Like, I want them to be able to be like, but not just as young women, when they become women and wives and moms, I want them to still feel the same way. So that's my tip. What's yours?
I feel like I really tried to compartmentalize the two things because regardless of where I am in my healing journey, I know I have to show up for my daughter. And my daughter is my number one motivation. Honestly, she's the reason why I decided to go on my healing journey.
That's it.
I'm like, bro, there's no way that my daughter is gonna go through what I went through. There's no way. I'm not gonna expose her to anything to where she feels like it's normal to go through any sort of dysfunction, any sort of trauma coming from your parent. You could be mad at me, you could be irritated, but you're gonna know that I love you. You're always gonna know that I care about you. You're always gonna feel comfortable talking to me. So she's the number one reason why I was motivated to go on my journey. The number one reason, because I'm like, if I am her, she's looking at me. I am her example.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm her example.
That's it. And I want to be the example. I want her to be like,
example, not an example.
Yes. I know this situation, like, what would my mother do?
What would my mother do? Or if she's talking to her friends or whatever, she goes, well, let me call my mom and ask her. Or like, oh, well, my mom, she X, Y,
she would have been like, so-and-so.
Yeah.
Well, matter of fact, let's just call her and see what she said.
That's how I want it. And I'm just so like, I feel very strongly about that, and I'm not wavering. And anytime I feel like I want to waver or try to, what did the pastor say? Try to put somebody else before I put myself in my journey or whatever. That is my reason why I'm not letting like anybody stop me from like, no, I'm not accepting this. I have to be for sure that like, you love me, you're for me, you're gonna respect me or whatever in any relationship. Including my own father. I will, including my mother. There have been times where I was like, I'm not gonna talk to you. I don't like the way you talk to me. I'm not accepting that. I've accepted that for too long. I've accepted it throughout my whole life. I just accepted people talking to me crazy anytime. I've always seen, oh well, I've always given them
they care about me.
They
like,
care me,
no.
or they're just having a bad day, or they've been through this, or they giving people excuses.
Yes. Too much of the benefit of the doubt.
And allowing myself to love people more than I love myself. I'm not doing that anymore. Because one thing about it, and one thing for certain, two things for sure. My daughter is going to love herself more than she loves anybody. She's not accepting none of the shit that I accepted from people. None of that.
I don't give about none of that.
Try her if you want to.
None of that.
Try her if you want to. This is going to be out when she's older. Try her if you want to.
Hello?
She's not accepting none of that.
What? Our girl's going to be all on our YouTube channel. Hold on, my mother got a topic for that. My mother got a video for that. Let me show y'all what my mother said about that. What you talking about? So, I know we're both very committed to like, being better for our daughters. But outside of that, what is the driving force for you outside of anybody else? What is the driving force? What makes you want to, what makes you stay committed to this healing journey? It's one thing to start a healing journey, baby, but to stay committed and keep going and feel uncomfortable, but stick it out.
I would say it's like my relationship with God. My relationship with God keeps me in the game. Because I just have to remember, like, he did not forget about you. My song for him, I will listen to this to remind me that he is still with me at all times. He has not forgotten about me.
What song?
The song I
Able?
sent you.
He's able?
Still able. I will listen to that song, just that's my anthem. Whenever I'm feeling like I'm left out or I'm forgotten about or whatever, I just have to remind myself, God and my purpose on this earth. My purpose, when I found out my purpose, I knew. There wasn't a doubt about it. I know. I'm just at a point where I'm getting myself prepared and I'm healing so that I can fulfill my purpose. My healing journey is a part of my journey to fulfill my purpose. So if I don't heal, I cannot fulfill my purpose.
Yes, that's literally, that was my answer. That was literally my answer. Literally, the fact of who I know I can become and who I need to become, who I need to be in order to operate fully in that person. I have to heal.
Yeah.
I have to grow. I have to. It's a must.
Some people, they can go, they can be successful, they can make a lot of money, they can be happy or whatever without healing. I feel like our purpose, we can't fulfill our purpose until we feel it within ourselves. And that's what makes it so difficult, because it's like, why is this person getting this? Why is it
oh my
broken?
gosh.
There's still this or that. But at the end of the day,
they
like,
say clock it. Literally. Because
like,
no, for real.
What? I was like, why? This person is going through a healing journey, but she's a millionaire. She's a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire and heal.
But you know what Pastor Mike said? I'm gonna have to tag him in his
God said, I need to test you.
baby. And he also said, because if you let the people that, if you seek the people that she got help with from her journey, they gonna get the praise. But if I break you down and build you back up, we gotta give him. It's nobody else. We gotta give him the
What?
praise.
You can't give anybody else that credit. It's all God. When I tell you, when I had my moment, I will tell you the beginning of my healing journey. I was broken down. I was depressed. I was crying, sobbing, wailing on the ground in the bathroom, butt naked.
Period.
Crying. In the shower, you turning on your music in the shower.
Right.
Bro, I was wailing. God humbled me so much. He's like, you cannot do this on your own. You need me. He is 90% of my healing journey. 90%. The other 10% is me. Like, I gotta do that shit to completely heal. But God, that is literally, that's my God. Like,
Period.
But I tell you,
Please just help me for real, because I'm really about to knock her head off. Just
no, real.
calm me down. Just
For
calm me down.
real.
Like,
For real, I used to suffer with the worst anxiety. I'm trying to tell you, God is so real, and without him, I would not be where I am today. I had the worst anxiety. I have not experienced anxiety since I had my encounter with him. I was on the ground. I felt his presence. I can't even lie about this. This is like, I don't even know if I can explain. You just have to go through
you have
it.
to be there.
You have to go through it to understand, but you have to seek it. You have to chase after it. And when God feels that it's time, he's going to deliver.
when you see God,
Oh my God.
he will show up. When you surrender, he will show up. You just gotta surrender.
Oh my God.
You just gotta let it go. I be like, all right, God. Literally, no lie, all right. This personal, but it's
Oh
cool.
my God.
Literally, I was trying to figure out. I had Lo's birthday plans all planned out. Ended up, I had it all planned out. Baby, I got it. I get this check. I got this money coming in. Da-da-da. Shit was just happening. Like, money was just. So I'm like, I was like, damn. I'm like, we married. I just gotta take this money to chill. We might not be able to do what I had planned. But I backed up. I was like, you know what? Every time something seemed like it's not gonna work out, I just automatically think I don't deserve it or something. I was like, Lord, if it's supposed to happen, if I'm supposed to carry out these birthday plans for those that money, send me the funds. No lie, within a week I had the money. I'm not even lying. I'm not even, no. And when my grandmother used to be saying stories, I used to be like, come on. Now you just woke up and your knees don't hurt no more. Be for real.
It's almost like when you're growing up and we be seeing people in church, they just falling out, and you just be like, what is going on here? They're doing way too much. No,
Baby,
I give myself to you.
I get it.
I give myself to you. Please.
Listening to sermons and podcasts and stuff all day long. Like, I used to be like, and you know what? Like, y'all want to listen to nothing else? Baby, now I be
Turn it on.
I be
First
driving
thing in the morning.
No, look, Kamari on the way to school. Kamari be like, "Mommy, can you play something?" So I be like, after the sermon.
No, Logan be like, I turn on that stuff. Logan be singing it with me. He knows the song to that before her.
Maybe I need to play
song.
some more. Well, she'll sing the gospel songs, but baby, I plays Mike Pass. Baby, I plays the YouTube.
So when Logan's in a car, I listen to the music and she be jamming.
All right, maybe I need to.
When she gets out the car, I turn my sermons right on. Like this morning, I was just like, sometimes I need more than others. So sometimes I'll listen like at least once a week. But
I'm trying to get back
into
going in person to church. I'm gonna make an effort to go. I've been watching online consistently. I'm actually proud of myself. But I would say a week ago on the 1st, my old pastor passed away. My old pastor passed away, but it was my pastor that shaped me. I went from, I probably was about maybe elementary school to after high school, graduated, all that. So it was real detrimental. Granted, I haven't been to that church in 10 years, but I felt so heavy. And I was like, Lord, I'm out. And he was like, this man had an impact. It's okay for you to feel some type of way.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to be sad. It doesn't have to come out in sadness. Honor and praise and be grateful. But yes, and that's exactly where I was going. It literally reminded me to be grateful for the experiences, grateful for the journey. I'm trying my best. I feel like my biggest lesson that God has been trying to teach me in the past 5 freaking years is just enjoy the process. Enjoy the process.
Ooh,
and I'll say this is the second time, because the first time I'll say in my life when the seizures started happening. And that last time we went into the hospital in January, we went to the hospital and we finally got our diagnosis. And I was like, and everybody just kept calling me and texting me, how you feeling? Like, but how you feeling? I'm present. I'm present. This is for the first time in my life I've been present. And I think like this right now, this is the second time in my life where I've felt so present. I've begged and pleaded and prayed years. I just want to be a full-time entrepreneur. I just want to do this. I just want to have a flexible schedule. Now that my kid here, I want to be able to tend to her. And he broke me down. But he didn't broke me down. And like all I can say is in this season right now, I'm living answer prayers. And it's just like, I have to be present. I have to enjoy this. I have to. There's no other choice, because if not, I just feel like I'm gonna resort back to who I like before. Like, God's gonna be like, all right, well, you keep asking for more stuff. I'm trying to give
you're not
you,
even taking care of.
but I'm giving what you do have. So I know we just said a lot. And it was some good stuff. This wasn't even the questions we had. This was strictly organic, just conversation. Like I said, this is my girl. I know I invited her because I know that she has the wisdom, the knowledge, the terminology, all that to really get y'all in order, because she be getting me in order on the record. Okay? So I know she got what it is to get y'all in order. So I definitely hope that you all have enjoyed this conversation. I thank you so much.
Yes, it's giving part 2. It's giving like
2, 3, 4, 5
episodes.
Yeah,
it's giving all of that because I really enjoyed this conversation. Honestly, it's been therapeutic for myself. I'm currently on a healing journey for myself. Like, I can't even front. So I'm like in it. I know what it's like. I know how it feels. I know what's working. I know what's not working. So to be able to have this conversation and really be able to give y'all some insight and just be real and help you understand it's not easy. It is up and down. God is the foundation of it. That's where it starts, and then it finishes with you. Well, actually, it starts with him, then it's you, and then it ends with him too. So you just gotta just keep that in mind. Keep pushing, keep fighting. Don't get defeated.
Yeah.
Don't get defeated. Don't let the enemy like look at that. As soon as you want to talk about and said the devil is a liar. Yeah.
He just said something. I forgot. But I was finna say give the people one last little, but that was it. We're actually gonna close out on that because baby, I can't top that, and I don't even want to try. So thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for staying with us all this time. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my girl channel.
Subscribe. You better subscribe now because it's going up.
Hello.
It's going up.
Because this is on the video.
You want to be here from the jump, it's going up.
All right, so we do have a little, I guess, ritual we do. We have to finish our cups at the end of the episode. So it's time. Cheers. Dang, I have more than you. She faking because
that wasn't something
wine her thing.
This is double XL.
Yeah, you right. But look, this is the only one I have to use on my channel.
That's so good. Sponsorship.
XXL. This is video promoting y'all. Holla at your girl. The views gonna go up, so get with me now. If you want to boss up with it with me. All right, for real, we going, y'all.